Lord, we come before you, Father, thanking you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives. Father, we thank you, Lord, for your Holy Spirit that continues to guide us, Lord. We thank you, Father, that we just invite your Holy Spirit to just have your way today, Lord. We thank you, Father, because your word says that you will supply all of our needs according to your riches, Father. And we just thank you, Lord. We stand on your word. We thank you for all that you do. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I'm so glad you made it today, Miss Barbara.
Me too.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to catch you guys up, speed crash course. I'm also going to attempt not to take a position for a couple of minutes, but we'll talk about that here in a second too. So here's the deal. You guys already know, don't trade what you can't afford to lose. I will say, if you haven't already done so, check the link tree. Obviously, we've got all the prop firms. Please be patient. Don't go out and just buy them. Like right now, Apex is more expensive. Wait until there's a sale. And then when you get the many accounts, if that's the kind of the system that you're doing, don't go trade them all at the same time. We don't have to copy trade. I, again, as a quote educator, as a quote leader, those fancy terminologies, I'm testing a lot of things. But in general, guys, a couple accounts, one, two, three, we've showed you that's more than enough to make a ton of money, even only doing like $200 a day, even with, losing 1 to 2 days a week. Okay. It's still net profitable. So not a bad way to be, but please be mindful. Having said that, I have not signed up for this yet. I am going to. Um, what is it? Hero has some 10x program. And if you look at it and you look at what you're spending on prop firms, it might be worth looking into. So it's TradeStation, TradeStation or Trade, I'm pretty sure it's Trade Locker, one of the two. Like I said, I haven't signed up yet, full disclaimer, but I'm going to give that a trial run and just kind of play around a little bit because I think dollar for dollar, it might not be a bad way to be. So that's in the link tree. Of course, all the brokers are in the link tree. Please use the code as we grow. We are definitely not the biggest, but we very well may be the best, especially as we continue to launch things. There's not a lot of people who have the track record we have. So that's definitely a leg to stand on. You guys already know all that. Dragonfly going very good. A lot of people have been using gold, big dollars in profits, but also big risk. So they're looking, we're pulling back up today. They're still looking good. Again, at the end of the day, I'm going to say this before I even go on because it's just worth saying. Remember, when I talk about automation, we're going to be talking a lot more about automation for prop firms. We're going to talk about it for Forex and continue to grow in that area. What I pray that people realize in terms of automation is you're not trying to flip $1,000 into 2,000 or 3,000. You're looking for those gains that you can duplicate stress-free. And the second you start to get past that stress-free, tone it down. Like honestly, 1 to 2% a week in gains on a prop firm, no, that is not a lot. But what is that, $500? Okay. On a prop firm, and most of you guys want that in a day. If you can do that on a couple of accounts hands-free without stress, without blowing, without costing more money, without buying another challenge, without paying another activation fee, that is well worth it. If you can do a quarter of a percent, a half a percent a day on average with your Dragonfly, that is more than enough. And you'll notice the more that you push, the more that you're going to stress. So just, I have to bring that up because it's so important to my heart. It's near and dear. I'm obviously very passionate about this industry. There's a lot of potential, but most people fail because they're pushing too much. They want to create a whole full size income on their $3,000 deposit, and that's just not a thing. Not to say it can't happen, it does, and it can. It's just not sustainable. So that's what we've got there. But I'm going to pull up the chat, do all the things. Family updates. Ready? Let's see. Rosie is in Bulgaria. She's doing really good. She's happy, healthy, and made it. She's with her bestie, her overseas bestie, I should say. So it has been a lot of fun. Lots of going on in terms of people, just so many people in and around in the last few weeks. It's been rich in so many ways. So other than that, let's take a look. We've got NASDAQ. We've got 4 minutes before opening bell. I was really analyzing the price action a little bit yesterday, just recognizing kind of what New York did in this first hour or two. And sometimes it's really hard to sit through this hour or two and just say there's no value here, there's no clarity. On our US 30 copier, on our indices copier, we had some sells. We ended the day kind of break even, profitable, but break even, mostly because I was waiting for this sell. I ended up closing at the loss because I didn't want to sit through this. I didn't know if we were going to push back up kind of thing. And today we have news coming at 10, right? So we might do the same thing. We really respected yesterday's, what was it? So yesterday's low, okay? This is where the yesterday's low was yesterday. And of course, we had like midnight open, yesterday's low, all at the same area. We just respected that, stayed, bounced up. And it took a hot minute, pushed up a few levels, took a little bit of liquidity, and then came down to kind of just make equal lows, if you will. But here's where we're at. We did break below this kind of upward trend line a little bit. We've got yesterday's highs, pre-market highs, kind of sitting at the same area. We've got yesterday's close, which is this dotted line. And then we've got pre-market low, which is actually now going to be a little lower from where I had marked it up before class. And now we wait. So, especially with news coming out, is this going to be a really easy swing to kind of just come take this level? Obviously, there's an imbalance right here. Absolutely. But if you're going to trade that, you've got to have something on, especially if you're going to be trading the full size contracts like the minis. It's just expensive. It's expensive when, let me close this and turn back on our indicators, when the ATR just, it grows so much during New York Open. So maybe something I'm considering doing is waiting a little bit longer. So mostly trading my pre-market stuff or waiting a little bit longer before I take my opening trades or going to micros for opening bell because it's really expensive. It's expensive to kind of give it back over and over again. And that's fine when you have some equity built up in that account. But until you do, it's not so much. So before we pop down, we've got 2 more minutes before opening bell. Let's take a look. ES is lining up again. They've been diverging quite a bit more frequently, in my opinion. A little bit slower. One's a little bit above, a little bit below. Now, when you're looking at it, it looks the same. But like yesterday, it looked pretty different. They ended the same place, but it was still very different. A lot of divergence going on. So ES looking more of the same. We have kind of pushed a little bit higher, but not by a lot when you kind of looking at the respect of this area that dropped down. We took out the same area. It just was a different position, right? We came kind of into that same range that overnight from Sunday. That's the range we took out. And we took out the overnight. We failed to take out the overnight from Sunday, but came up kind of toward the major high before that big impulse. So it's going to be interesting. Gold, we pushed down. I think we were down 1.3% overnight. We're pulling back up right now. We've got yesterday's low, yesterday's close, yesterday's high, pre-market low, and then we still have pre-market high is going to be pretty much exactly where we're at right now. So market is opening now. I'm going to go here, turn that back on. I'm going to go the 2 minute. Off screen, I've got the 5 minute up because again, what I saw yesterday and what I've been really, really looking at is just this big bounce, we move up and down both directions and then it's a mess. So easy trade down here to take out yesterday's closing price. And we're taking it now. This should be fun. Let's close them out. We've got a minute still left on our first 2 minute candle. Big bearish, but just maybe enough to come tap into this. We respected that closing price for hours and hours up until late afternoon, till New York PM. That's kind of how it looked yesterday. Nice tail to the downside. Good morning, William. You are the absolute bestest. Big spring. We did technically swipe the lows. So to come up and come now take out the pre-market high, yesterday's high. But we're sitting inside of a fair value gap. 5 minute range is still not formed. We've got 3 minutes left on this candle. Tail to the upside, tail to the downside. And we've got midnight and yesterday's closing price here. So, and that's the area we just kind of wicked off. Coming right back to the 500s. It'd be an easy, quick little kind of 5-10 point trade if you're looking for that move. Just to trade this up, that's plenty of room to kind of catch a profit. That's 22 points to kind of give you an idea. So if you have any kind of management in play, you've got the room to do that. Actually, let me make sure I'm in my right account. Now we're pushing right back down. We've got 2 minutes still left and pushing up. So 1 minute left, 2-minute range. Really, really close. There's a nice little imbalance that we're kind of trading into again on the 5-minute time frame. We're looking to come take that level, and that's our break. So to take this is going to be a late entry if you're going to take it. Long. But an easy target all the way up into there. That's 30, 40-ish points. That's a pretty big range, barely a 1-to-1. So using kind of a 10-point trail. Put this in. This level is what, 539s, 554s. Not a lot of room. $534 kind of target. We're really already sitting all the way up there. This is the 2-minute time frame. $536s. More enter there. We're coming up on that high. I was hoping this wouldn't activate yet. It's gonna knock me out right there. I can live with that. Hold on, I'm gonna have to turn on my show fills. Didn't get a chance to. That's it. One trade done. That's what. Let's find out how many points that is. 18. Not bad. Wish I could have held a little bit longer, but I had that 10-point kind of, it activates actually at about 13 points, and I can live with that. Entry was definitely closer to this little tail here. So a little later than maybe I want, but I got my trade out, done. And that's kind of how I want to treat opening bell, is get my 5-10 points, because I can get that in either direction, any direction. And now we can go look at this and say, wait, where's the value at? Where's the big move? Because if I take this off, we've got a 5-6 year track record that says literally not close to 90% of the time, we're right on the move. But a lot of people can't handle this pull up, right, to get to here, right? Even if your entry was, let's just say right around here, this is not a huge amount of risk in comparison. It's still about a 2-to-1, give or take, but we don't get there. So of course I did want to come down into this imbalance. We didn't end up doing that overnight. We even kind of edged up a little bit more. Gold pushing up a little bit this morning, but not bad, because at least we're out of that. This is what I feel like market has been doing. Pops up, pops down. I'm gonna go the 5-minute. We've got our range now. Got our 5-minute range. Not a bad little trade. Maybe 13, 18. What is it? What do I say? Hold on. 15. So nearing 20 points on that. Now we want to see if it respects this full body candle. Cool. We've got still 2 minutes left on the 5-minute range. If we respect this candle and don't kind of break below, I would buy it back up again, looking for about 20 points higher than the high. And of course, looking to the left for any other kind of imbalances or areas of interest, as I call them. Otherwise, we would need the break and the retest. Okay, so we need the full body close on the 5-minute time frame before we're looking for a sell. Not bad. I sure wish I was in that cell though, but I'm not. Back to the point of control, feeling a little mild imbalance. We still have not kind of, I think I put an indicator on one of my charts for the midnight open, but it's kind of strange. Hold on. No, I guess it's right. Now we wait. We're retesting that 2-minute range now. There's a bit of a 5-minute imbalance right here. If we get below that VWAP, we might have some oomph to the downside. Because we're breaking. We're still sitting above the 220 moving average. Depending on how this candle closes, that'll be like a perfect railroad on the 5-minute. Still got 1 minute left on the 5 minutes. But that's still sitting up there. And we've got numbers still too in 20 minutes. Now we wait. That's it. Don't forget, this is NFP tomorrow, so kind of a choppy week. I want to be super mindful. We've got 20 seconds left on this candle. Don't need a lot, just a little. Now we wait. We're still in buyer's territory, so I want to actually kind of edit this. Aren't I allowed to make this like a line? I'm not in love with that view, but I will take it. Still in buyer's territory, so as aggressive as I want to be on that sell, I'm not going to be. Potential easy sell to kind of come down here into yesterday's closing price, just tap that level. Historically, we've done this an awful lot where we bounce up, we take some liquidity, we bounce down, we take some liquidity until you get a break of that kind of structure break. I'm sure there's fancier names that I just don't know about, but until you get a break above previous supply and demand support resistance and a retest, you're just kind of playing that range. And I think seeing it that way might help quite a bit. But ES is pushing up pretty aggressively. And ES is up. Interesting. Here we go again with the diverging. Look at this. Easy target. If you're looking for the scalp to come down, that is enough points if you're scalping. That's almost 20 points. If you're truly scalping, you're locking in within 5-10 points. Easy. ES giving some of it back. Nice strong wick to the upside. We like that. And Q is still Still looking like we're trying to take that level. Back up on the ES. Hold on. And NQ is still holding that level. YM is up, ES trying to be up, NQ is still holding that low. We still wait. 15-minute candle has a huge wick to the upside. Huge. Hit one to one range out of the breakout. Still kind of respecting this moving average. We're above it, so we bought. We're right now below it. I still think there's potential, but if we look at YM, we pushed up. We look at ES, we're up. NQ. But NVIDIA is down. A lot of things are still down. Pushing hard. Somebody's trying to buy it up. And news in 30 seconds. Hold on. We're still waiting. Push, push. No big move. We got to push up. This pushed up more for sure. This pushed up more. NQ is trying to push up. Easy targets to come tap into here. That's your 20 points. We broke above, broke down. We're still below the other two indices. So if you're looking for another trade, that buy for a quick couple of points. Not yet, though. We've got 3 seconds left on that candle. We just want that confirmation. We want that evidence. But ES is still up. But look, YM pushed it all back. ES is giving it back. Now we see. We wait.
Yeah, to be very patient this week as far as with price action.
I'm trying to be patient or quick, Jonathan. Patient or quick. Like, that's my new motto. I gotta wait longer, or I just need to take this portion.
Absolutely. I mean, the cleanest move was London, which was a few days back. I think right after Labor Day closed out, and then the market opened up again. And then New York sort of went up and down. I mean, there was good price action on that whole day, that Tuesday or whatever. But right now, it's been a little bit trying. Yesterday was definitely a little bit trying.
I know I love showing that to people I love. I'm like, look, I'm not crazy. I promise. This is the day that I traded. This is the day I was not in my office. This is the day I traded. And then it dropped. I was looking for sells, and then it went up. I was looking for buys. And then this is the day I was, really not paying much attention, or I was out of the office. That's just what I feel like every time without a doubt. We're moving now. Let me remove all this. Delete. We still have 19 seconds left on this candle. We've also got news again at 10. So the reason I'm trying to mark up these little 10-point areas I'll be looking for potential buy. That's 30 points. Let's see. 30 points. Nope. I tried. And then here we go. Now we're in with the aggressive sells. Trying to be patient here. Potential short into, that's your 20 points again. But we failed to take it here. So coming to tap into that now, keep in mind we've got a minute left on this candle and the vast majority of that move has been made. I just don't see any trade that I'm in love with. I'm marking this up, and I did that actually yesterday too after the market had, I just spent a good 20 minutes just looking at, hey, wait, here was a 10-point move, here was a 10-point move, here was a 10-point move. I told you guys a few weeks ago, paying attention to when the candle moves. So at the beginning part of this candle, we were very, very bearish and then pushed up, right? A little bit bearish at the beginning and pushed up. We still have 23 seconds, very bearish. I don't know how much we're going to push up on this big candle. I would have wanted to see a little bit more of a downside. 10 a.m. is not a bad time to trade. It really is not. It's not a bad time to trade at all. But that's how that candle closed after 2 minutes. So beginning of candle, big deal. Trading after candle closes. Looking for maybe one more. I've been using 9:45 to get the 10. Well, you can use the 9:30 candle on a 30-minute range, for example, with the 5-minute breakout or something. Like, you can still use all that volume. I don't know. I don't know. Because the 9:45 candle would be a smaller range, I think, but it depends on the day, I guess. Not real. Yeah, it would be smaller, so it would be less of a, or still nothing. Spring to the downside. So this first original trade analysis still good overall. Weights down, failed. We're still technically in bullish territory. Thank you, waiting. Okay, 15-minute time frame. If we go back and look, if this is, that next candle is going to be a smaller range, that might not be a bad idea. But that next candle after New York open, so this is New York open, this is the next 15-minute candle, this is 9:45 candle. Same thing, we kind of break above, just don't stay above. This is NQ, granted. That one's a smooth day though all around. This one helps quite a bit here because this is 9:45 candle. It's actually a bigger candle, go figure, and then we break out to the upside. It's not a bad idea. You know, try it. But the only thing is I need you guys, if you're going to quote, try something, I need you to try it for 100 trades. Like, we talked about this in FX all the time. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then people don't even have like a 50K a 50 trade case study. They don't have any data and they're like, it works or it doesn't work. No, you need like 100 trades, good, bad, and ugly. So it doesn't matter what the results are. You just need the 100 trades to get us from the knowledge, the data, here's where we're at, here's what we wanted to try, here's what we're thinking is going to happen, here's our projection. But you can't know that if you don't actually just give it the time it needs to play out. I feel like too many people are quote trying things and they try them for, hey, I did this 20 trades or a week and a half and I didn't like it, it didn't work. That could have just been the worst week for the best strategy, and you're never gonna find that out ever. But we're stuck in the nonsense. Here we go again. New York Open. Up, down, up, middle. We've got news in 7 minutes. So we're being patient. We're chilling. I think we got another easy couple point thing again. $450 area. I would like to see us get there, but there's just a lot of chop in the process, so it's almost 20 points. Actually, it's more than 20 points technically from where we first said it, and definitely even from right now. ES is looking like it's trying. YM is still pushing up. Gold back down again, popped up, back down. We're down almost 1% on the day. This is clean. That's smooth. Isn't it nice when it's that smooth? And here I am on NAS. Most times I set for 8 a.m. unless there's an 8:30 news. I actually like the 8 a.m. time frame a lot, Robert. A lot. Yeah, you don't have to decide to test that one. Again, whatever you guys want to test it, test it. That's cool. Like I'm gonna bring up the automation stuff here in a second, but like test it. I'm just asking that if you decide to test it, give it a fair test, because some of you guys are maybe undercover Einstein. You have the best idea, or maybe it's just the best for your schedule or whatever, the pairs or instruments you trade in. Like this is about to be fire. You happen to test it, let's say during NFP and then Trump tweet R us week. And of course, those were just crap weeks. And you're like, oh, I gave it 2 weeks. This sucks. But you might have been onto something. I know there's whole guys who do God, what is it like? There's so many people who do so many versions of something, but like think 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10:30-ish trade times, trade ideas. Here we go. We're halfway there.
Something I wish they would develop. I don't know if it's possible because you never know what's going to happen. But you know how they have news filters, or have a Trump speech filter or something like that. But I don't know if that's even possible. But that'd be a good idea if somebody could pull that off.
Right. Well, but they're not always, and that's the other thing about the way Trump is a president, and every Trump after him is going to be, I think every Trump, what am I saying? Every president after him is going, this is only going to escalate, is what I'm trying to say. The impromptu decisions, there's never going to be another Trump necessarily, but
Yeah.
the comfortableness and the way our country handles this kind of stuff is going to continue to be along those lines.
Or maybe just a president speech filter. And then each term they kind of redo the coding. I don't know. It'd be nice.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. All right, we're going nowhere. We moved about 10, so we said 450. We moved 15 points. And remember, we were talking about it up here. as we gave up that low, that's where we're talking about it. So there's a lot of little pockets of 5, 10 points. Some fail, cool. But I just think because there's no way to know, you're never going to know. I like this to potentially sell. We're just not. We're still sitting below the moving average. We're technically below on the MACD, but we're closing bullish, which is going to reverse all of that right now. We've got 8 seconds left on this bullish candle, which is a pretty full body bullish candle in all fairness. And we've got 3 minutes. As we get to this news, we'll talk a little bit about automation. For those of you guys who are testing it, we've got a couple of known bugs, which we released with, again, to start to kind of get data. The strategy is so cool that they can kind of show you that. The strategy feature tester thing on TradingView figure it's within reasonable accuracy. Like I said in the video, I always kind of undervalue those kinds of things by at least 20%, just because brokers, connections, the axiom of life is the best trade that should have been the biggest winner is the time you disconnected, and the worst trade that where things went super wrong is the time where you took 2 entries or like there was a system glitch or something. And that's how I kind of factor my sanity into automation, and it just keeps my peace of mind. But I'm very excited. There's a few things that we still need to get to the bottom of, and then we are going to lock down kind of our tool base and our toolkit, if you will, and then kind of move to, we're finalizing this. Got to get all the bug reports, the things that are not working as defined. I do have a question for you guys in terms of management and trailing stops, which is super important. And I told the developer, I was like, let's sit on this because there's good reasons on both sides. We're going to talk about that in a second and ask your guys' advice. And I think I'm going to pull in the chats too. So this might change your life. Please, please, please participate in this poll this time, guys. But anyways, then we're going to release a couple of other things too. So it'll be kind of hopefully expedited. The developer says, we can get through reasonable amounts of code in 8 to 10 hours a week. So we're going to put that to the test. 100%. 100% we're going to do it. Oh, here we go. There's the news. 10 a.m.
It was PMI, and it's actually in the green. It was better than predicted, if that helps.
I don't know if it helps. Look, this is a 2-minute candle, granted, but on TradingView, all we saw was like a couple bleeps both directions and then nothing.
I don't know what the
Go ahead.
numbers actually mean. They predicted 51 and it ended up being 52, whatever that means.
Oh Lord, I don't know. We're still just bouncing off this level, guys. I still think we're gonna hit 450s kind of as a minimum, which is not a lot of points from where we're sitting right now. It's 451. But even that was nothing. So it was
So-
nothing. What's that?
PMI is a measure of whether industry is expanding or not. And above 50 means expanding, below 50 means contracting.
Oh,
Sort
okay.
of forward-looking thing. And remember, we're in backward land looking for Fed cuts. So if the industry is expanding, the Fed says no need to cut, which suppresses prices, So we've been in this weird backward Fed-driven land for a while.
Where math doesn't math anymore, huh?
Well, Fed spelled backwards is deaf. I don't know if that means anything or not.
I didn't comprehend what you said, Robert.
I said Fed spelled backwards is deaf. So I don't know if
Oh,
that means anything or what, but it's just a kind of a little correlation thing there.
yeah, I didn't hear deaf. I heard death.
Oh, no. Well, that's another it's another
Your
topic.
spelling is interesting. I was thinking.
What a
And
co-op.
Jenny, if it's okay, I want to brag about you for a second, if that's all right.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
no, yeah.
I want to tell everybody that's especially the ones that don't do Dragonfly. We were, of course, we were in a lot of drawdown yesterday, and margin levels dropping like crazy and stuff. And she drew up a quick analysis and posted it in the Dragonfly chat and gave a range. She says she expected to drop at a certain point and possibly go down to a certain point. Although she wasn't dead on perfect, she was close enough to perfect. It was probably within like what, 20 or $30 difference, and it did drop almost exactly where she said it would. So I'm going to brag about that.
Well, thank you. I'll take that with a grain of salt. I'll pull that up here in a second, but thank you. That was in between everything. I got back to the house from my walk and then just marked it up real quick and I'll show you guys that. Remember, I still haven't even put my demo stuff yet on gold, so I don't know what y'all are going through. And honestly, Forex has been just kind of like blah. I'm only up a couple percent on the last month. I think I did like a little less than 10%. So y'all have been killing it with gold, but I haven't even started testing it yet. I just haven't got a chance. It hasn't been a priority. I've been working on some other things.
It's a,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weirdest thing, Jenny, because yesterday the guys were saying that they were like, a whole bunch of gold trades. I just have
Yeah.
gold and like two other non-USD pairs, and I've like not had that at all. Like it just took two winning gold positions and closed. No drawdown, so I'm not sure.
Well,
That's the
wait,
weirdest thing.
are you also doing a like the time frame that we recommend, like 15-minute time frame for gold?
Yes, I'm doing 15 minutes. I
That's
have
the difference. They're pushing. So full disclaimer, guys,
oh
the people who had a bunch of drawdown, most of them are using like the 2 and the 6 minute or something like that.
oh I see.
So they're
Yeah.
they're
It's definitely different.
they're doing
Okay.
it, like doing it. So
It's 2 and 5. I just checked.
oh, gotcha. So that's going to be different, guys. You're going to have a lot more volatility, and then you catch just the wrong tick, and then it's just a big thing. This right here got enough of a 1-to-1, and we're still going. We're dropping. We're
So
trying.
when you do start testing that, Jenny, maybe you can find something a little bit more reasonable that doesn't like give people strokes and heart attacks and
And that's
things like that.
honestly, Robert, like first off, I love that you're bending it, but my prayer for you guys is after you're done bending, you find this peaceful place. And I don't know how to say this with enough respect as I mean it, but most of us, some of us more than others, don't need to make $1 bajillion a month. We just want to make, and I love when I talk to people like, oh, I'd be happy with 5 or 10%. But then when I tell them how to get that, they always push it harder.
Oh,
I don't know
it's
why.
more. Yeah.
I know. It's like they're like, oh, I'd be happy with 5 or 10%. I'm like, cool, I got you. Honestly, within reason, no stress. Like literally, you're almost never gonna have to react. We got that in the bag. But then somehow they're always like, well, just a little more, please, just a little
It's
more.
kind of like remember Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick at the beginning when he reached Mach 10, he goes just a little more. I actually posted that video once as a perfect example of over trading because when you go just to little bit too far, your whole plane explodes.
But the 100%, 100%. We're pushing, guys. We're pushing. We are pushing for real, for real. So not
As
bad.
far as the Dragonfly Forex, same thing. It's probably volume related, I'm assuming. But I mean, the returns are not that big, but they're also not giving me heart attacks either. So there's a
There.
little bit of a trade-off.
Well, I won't fib. The last, what is it? The last couple of the month and a half has been flat. Like we haven't done much, mostly because I got stuck in some chef pairs, not a lot of drawdown. I think I got up to 7, 8, 9%. Um, but we've been just pretty flat. I haven't got a lot on the gains, which again is part of it. And every time this has happened in the past, this is when Smart Jenny goes in and says, well, I'm just going to increase some lot size, or I'm going to do this, that, and another. And every time I've done that, I've got my butt handed to me. So I've learned how to just, hey, wait, I'm okay knowing that some months are just slower, some months are bigger. Um, if I do when and if I do test gold, not if, but when I do start playing with that, because again, I've not done that, I will probably not do the 2 and the 5 minute. I might do like the 5 and the 15 even, because that just seems more digestible. And I think I would do 0.01 per every 4,000. Just because that's going to give me, I don't know, you're averaging 1 to 2%, I think, with twice the risk or contracts is in smaller time frames. So I'm guessing it would still produce at least 1%, give or take, a day, 0.5 to 1%, which is still really good. And if I can do that sustainably, maybe after a little while, I would go to point, one point every, 3,500, 3,000-ish, but I'm not
Yeah.
pushing it past that.
The lowest I've seen on the demo, because it's been running longer, was probably 1.7%. It's varied anywhere between 1.7 and 2.1 or 2.15% per day. I'm looking at the Forex one right now. I started June the 23rd, and overall it's up 16.68%.
Not bad. It's summer months and still just low volume. But that's truth in truth in advertising, guys. You're gonna have some months where like, oh my gosh, drawdown sucks, or this is hard, or doesn't make enough, or it made too much. Then you're gonna have some months where it's like, this is boring, nothing's happening. But there's no bank that's gonna give you 16% in a couple of months. There's no
Not
there's
even in a year.
yeah, it's just that's not gonna happen. So kind of learning to take what we can and live with that, I think is still the goal. But it's a process. And thank you so much. Hey, let's talk percentages and then we'll talk automation. So,
Although I do remember back in the early 80s when banks were doing 12%.
nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Scott, why aren't you? That's it. I'm so 12 banks gave you 12%.
Yep. This was when inflation was running rampant and
Yeah.
it
I
was
remember
crazy.
I remember had savings accounts that were like 6 to 8% through banks at that time.
Well, I wasn't born, but also there's been no time in my life where I could get that kind of interest rate from a bank ever.
Well, the Fed rate was over 10%. I mean, I remember my first mortgage, I was super happy to get a mortgage for under 10%.
God, I can't imagine. But also the cost, like life was different then. I know a lot of people, money does matter. It matters to a lot of people in ways that I have been so far removed from understanding. Like, but it impacts your marriages, it impacts your relationships, it impacts your life, like big ways. So big ways. I'm still not a billionaire yet, but I'm working on it. So
And
comfortable,
Scott, I don't know if you noticed, but Jenny passively just called us both old when she said she wasn't born in the 80s. So just keep that in mind.
I don't
passively.
know, speak for yourself, but I am old.
I am, but I refuse to admit it, even though I just did, if that makes sense.
I don't, you got you guys. Don't worry, we'll all try to stay young forever. Okay, that's the goal. Is just young in spirit. I can take that all day. Okay, let's talk about this. Look at if you're looking for one more trade, again, just that 10 points. On a day where the direction's not clear, go for 10 points. Go for 10 points. That's 25 points. Easy peasy. I do think there's another level. So we just cleared into here. So we took this level. Huge imbalance kind of come trade into. Bigger time frame, not a bad target at all. That's going to put us all the way down kind of at the 350s, 360s, 375 area. What is this, 362-ish? Cool. That's where we're going to be targeting if we continue to drop. So when you're not sure, go for the couple of points and be done. Very hard to do. Ask me how I know. I never had this problem until I started futures. But that's a topic for another time. So I'm going to turn this off. Got our trade on the day. I'm going to turn off VWAP too because we don't need it. I'm going to go the 5-minute and I'm going to go to MNQ. So ready? Again, truth. Everything, notice how we labeled this test. We labeled it test because it is still a test, okay? It is still in testing mode. I know that there's a cost associated with this, but again, looking at the big picture, you're going for data right now. You're not going for profit. We don't care. I mean, it's nice. Counts up, counts down. My count was down overnight tonight. But again, I had lots of sessions. I was testing different things this time. Most of the nights that my count has been up, not by a lot, like literally $30. I have accidentally caught a really big winner and accidentally caught a really big loser. But overall, that's again, we're testing. So we're on MNQ right now. I'm going to go to what appears to be performing the best with the settings we currently have. Remember, this is endless opportunities. So for better and worse, It's very customizable. And that's what I did right with all the stuff that we built, right? Very, very customizable, which is kind of awesome. But also that creates its own element of complication. So plan on that as well. I'm just giving this a couple of seconds to load. I'm going to turn this on. I didn't mean to do that. Couple of just full disclaimer things. Number one, this is reasonably accurate. Okay, so they say I always give myself a 20% buffer. So whatever you see, minus add 20%. And that goes both ways. Okay, the in your favor way and the oh my gosh, things are not working out for you way. Give yourself a 20%. Either way, if your net profit factor is above a 1.0, you're profitable, technically speaking. And that's really all we're aiming for. This is going to come and go. This is going to come and go. It's going to be, we can make this look like 500,000 if we just increase how much we're risking per trade, or we can make it look like $500. So that's, relevant to only the amount that you're risking. Obviously, you want a really big data set with what you're doing. Number one, this doesn't matter as much either. It won't matter long term. You can have a 95% accuracy and still be losing. You can have a 20% accuracy and still be winning. Of course, this makes us feel good, but honestly, I would like to see achieved results somewhere in the high 50s, 60% and profitable. Okay. Achieved. So remember, we're giving ourselves a buffer here. So achieved after all the suspect kind of the in, the out, the well, this glitch or that happened or this wasn't connected, because that's real life, right? It's all part of it. And if we have that and this is better than one, we're still net profitable. And that's it. We're not looking for perfection. We're not looking to make $1 million because everything is scalable. But not bad. Net positive equity curve. This right here is based off, I'm gonna have to go in there and find those settings, but you'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly. All the things, and you have access to this because we do not have it unlocked. So in general, this I'm guessing is based off of $100 risk based off of these numbers, but I'll go in there and take a look here in a second with you guys. Notice the wins and losses, different sizes. Every now and then you catch the bigger one. Otherwise, a lot of them are really small. And that's a question I have for you guys. And it's something I could not make my mind up on when I talk to the developer, because your opinion and my opinion have a value, kind of, but data doesn't lie. So we are going to adjust what I'm getting ready to talk about with you guys to test both ways. We're going to have both data sets, but this data looks good as is. So the question I have for you, and we'll type it out and we'll put it in the chat and give it a couple of days, has to do with how the stop loss and stuff is functioning, and then I'll go over everything else. But first, let's talk the stop loss. The trailing stop is currently set to work. How do I draw this? Let me think. We're finishing that drop, guys. So if we entered in, okay, candle closed, whatever. If we entered in here, I'm going to use something else actually. Clear that. If we end, I'm going to go to a different spot now. Let's say we entered in here. Okay, that was our entry and we were selling. I don't want it to be anywhere near the other trades, okay? We entered here, that's where we sell. How it's currently functioning, God, I might be putting my foot in my mouth, is stop loss starts at the other side of the range or wherever you have it set. It's either the 50% or here, plus whatever buffer that you have it set with, right? That's where the stop loss is. You can do flat in, flat out with your take profit. Again, you can have the 50%, you can have one, you can have, 3 take profits, 3 TPs at 50%, which is going to be a 1.5 risk to reward. All that's possible. Again, we don't care as much about this if we can print money automatedly. The question I have and what we got stuck on, and I really want to talk to the community about is this, because I think first off, it has to be truth in advertising. Remember, if we are basing this off of a candle close, our entry is technically here. So right now, there's 2 things that I think is causing the ATR trail and the stop loss to be variable. So again, if this is now our entry, because we used candle close, and remember, this test is always based off of candle close because it can't test without the candle close. So this data is based off of candle close, whether or not you had that clicked or not, it's always based off of candle close. Just so you guys know, because that's how TradingView works. It can't trade mid candle. The way this is functioning is it's taking this range as your stop loss. So meaning, let's say this is your entry, your stop loss was here, not here, right? Number one. So technically the stop loss is not, when you take this trade right here on this buy, I'm going to use a different color. Let's go to, I don't even know, pink. When you take this buy, the stop loss is the size of this range, which is going to put your stop loss here. So now you don't have as much room. And on this case, this is fine because it worked out just fine, right? But on other cases, you're getting stuff where it kind of comes up, comes down, doesn't ever touch the other side, and then takes off, but you will still lose this trade dollars wise, or, you know, closing positive or negative. So that's in terms of the stop loss, which I really would like your guys' help. What we decided when we jumped off was regardless of whether we're going to test both. So we are going to change this build a little bit. But right now the data is very optimistic as it's currently built. So if we decide to keep it functioning this way, we'll have to define that risk to you guys so it's truth in what we say. If we say your stop loss is here, you need to know what that actually means, right? Your stop loss is not here. It's the size of this range based off of the moment of your entry. Number one, and also I think that's one of the reasons why the trailing stop is so tight as well. So kind of same scenario, we enter in here. This trail starts immediately. So like, let's say you have a 1.75 ATR trail. It's because remember, TradingView is not like MT5. It's starting immediately. So as you're going up, notice how we got knocked out pretty quick. Okay. You're out instantly because that is, it's not, your stop loss is not starting here. Essentially, if you are opening here, remember your open was technically, your stop loss was technically the size of that range. So your stop loss started here and then trailed by 1.75 from here. So you're kind of getting knocked out a little bit sooner. But does anybody have a perception, something they want to add, like, love, hate, change, suggestion? Because this is the big question. And then I'll talk about everything else.
Well, if your trailing stop starts immediately, your initial stop doesn't matter.
That's what I said. I was like, wait, well, that doesn't matter then. Especially not, I mean, this is gold, but especially not given the ATR. Your trailing stop, your stop loss is literally insignificant. It's not even there. Which helps though.
Your initial stop is just, only thing that'll be used for is calculating your risk.
Yeah.
Which may not be accurate depending on how far things move. So you could be over risking.
Probably under risking is kind of what we saw.
Okay.
But again, we'd rather be under right now. Again, we're still in test. I labeled it test for a reason, guys. So bear with me. Close this out. So let's go to, and this is preliminary. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. But list of trades. Here we go. If your risk is $100, which I need to click on the settings to verify that, sometimes it is a little bit less, right? But notice how the wins, which could potentially be more, are also a little bit smarter. And again, before we let our ego get in the way of what we think, this still matters. This matters a lot. This data matters. It says something, it likes something. But we have, and where we ended it when we jumped off the phone was, hey, fair, the data doesn't lie, but we need to explain how that stop loss is working right now. And it's because of how TradingView operates. Now we can adjust that. We just don't know for sure if that adjustment is going to be an improvement or a step back.
Go back to your equity curve. Yeah, I guess it looks like it's been flattening out a lot lately, and we've seen market changes around the open. So a lot's going to depend on the times that you have set for taking the trades.
Oh, this is set for overnight, just preliminarily right now. So this is actually not trading New York Open at all.
Okay. Because we've seen big changes in New York Open in the last month.
So again, I went over this in the video I made too. So this is the high watermark was 56 or 55, comes all the way down. you have periods, and I need to express that period is days and sometimes weeks where you're just flattening out. And again, we're gonna talk more in depth about the long-term plan, the X% on the week, the X% of accounts, the variable time frames, symbols, etc. We're gonna create this system for you that is awesome, but first we got to start at 1, and this is 1. So anybody who has a real say on that, let me know. But remember, numbers are more important than you and me. We just have to clearly define.
Can you go to your settings for a second for me? I want to ask about something
Well,
on
first,
the time of day that confused me, and I asked about this
well,
before.
we will, but first
Okay.
let's finish this topic. I'm gonna
Okay.
go to the settings here in a second. But this topic right here, anybody have a say? They don't care. They just want to see it produce results. Because again, to me, ready, this is a good example. Not a great example. And his comment was, let's just talk about this. Problem is we entered late. So the trail for 2 problems, we entered late. And this is not going to be exact on if you're using break because it'll be a little different.
Can you
But
zoom in on that a little bit so it's easier to see?
yeah. Well, even,
Much better, thank you.
no, you're sorry. Thank you for telling
Is
me.
it safe to assume you've already tested larger ATR trails and things like that?
No, it is
Okay.
safe. Nothing. So this is labeled test. So we're assuming nothing is safe to assume anything. Number 1, we're test, and I'm going to reiterate that a billion times. But let's take this one for example. This one had the potential to close in profit. Now, granted, for 2 reasons, it would not have. For 2 reasons. Number 1, we have a setting in there that makes it to where after X amount of candles after the session, you're going to close positive or negative. You can turn that on or off. But if you had that turned on, we would have never closed here anyways, right? Either way. Even though we come down to that level.
Yeah, you don't even quite get there.
Yeah, we don't get there anyways. Well, I would be using 50% targets. This is set to 100% targets right
So
now.
you do have a time stop in there.
We do have a time. So we have everything set to when it hits exit, it exits all just to kind of protect, which the blessing is for all the times I've seen some major glitchy stuff, I haven't seen any ghost orders using this, which is good. So something on that front is working well. I have had one time the trade ran in profit, and then I've had one time where the trade ran in drawdown. I don't know what the cause was of those 2. That's why we have to make sure we're using our trade of 8 hard stops, and then we have some hard stops built into this too, which are not activated just yet. But if I
And
need you
there
guys
was
go
one
ahead.
more thing that you mentioned the other day, and that's that you have a filter for too large of a signal candle.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, more accurately, it's not even too large. I think the filter would mostly apply to too small of a signal candle.
Okay,
So
that's right.
the
Because you
filter
might also want to consider having a too large filter because you end up with such a large range that you can't, it's going to be hard to achieve that.
Well, it would be the whole like exceeds risk thing, right? Like, so if this candle is too small, we have a contract filter to where there's too many contracts, right? To where it can't
Yeah,
take out anymore.
that's right. That's how you stated it was contract filter.
And then if the candle is too large, okay, even at one contract, that range is too large it's the risk, it exceeds your risk essentially. It exceeds the risk. So that I think we have covered, provided it's working right. We want to make sure. But the stop loss thing, that one gets to me because if I tell you we're entering here and our stop loss is here and it's not functioning that way because we entered here. So I'm going to use my measuring stick. And let's say we're using the whole range. Our stop loss started here because we entered our stop losses in here, right? And that's how we got knocked out when we did, which in this case is fine. We probably, would have been better or worse, who knows? And again, the numbers don't lie. This is not wrong, but it doesn't mean there's not room for improvement. So my only ask for you guys, I know this is in depth and kind of I'm just riffing on this with you, but I need you guys to think about it because this is for you. We do have a candle trail feature for trail being built in, which I think will exceed this. We're going to have 3 trails in total. One of them is by ATR, one of them is by moving average, and one of them is by the candle closes, right? Candle closes only apply to candles in the direction of which you're moving, right? So you're getting a bearish candle, it will continue to move up until it doesn't, right? On this candle, when this candle paints bullish, the stop loss does not move from this last candle. So we put it here, we put it here, we put it here. But that's in terms of the stop loss on the trail, which is kind of the trickiest, stickiest spot. Overall, though, we've got some good data. I have tested New York afternoon, tests very well. Overnight tests very well. I have honestly, I would be fibbing to you if I said I've tested New York Open. I haven't. First off, I didn't have the heart to, or the balls to, more accurately, especially with what we see live trading. But I mean, it's worth a shot. So you do you test whatever you want to test, 10 a.m. after, 9 a.m. before. The whole point of this is completely customizable. But let's go into settings real quick. Let's talk about the known bugs. There are a couple. Firstly, there's a few sessions that just don't trade. If you notice, if I close this real quick, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ranges. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranges. And for some reason, 2 of them just don't take trades. So we're getting to the bottom of that. Same thing over here. We have 1, didn't take one on 2, 3 did, didn't take one on 4, 5 did. I think these are the ones we had added, and then they're just, I think the ad has some bit of a twist, is it kind of how it ended up working, but a couple of them are not even being included. So just so you know, full discrepancy, that's a bug that we are working on. What else? When you're back testing, you need this to say something enormous, like 3,000 or something, okay? You need that to say something very, very a lot in order to get the data, okay? Line range does matter if you're using certain things, but remember, once the trade is put on, the calculations for the range is fine. So you don't technically need this extended unless you like to see the 100 blue lines or the no blue lines for take profits. That's going to be up to you. Risk is the big deal. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down to go here. I'm going to hover over this. This setting will calculate the appropriate contract for automation. If you have this option turned off, the trade size will be set within Properties tab. So if I turn this off and I just want to do one contract, okay, I can do that on whatever instrument I want to do it with. If I want to do it by risk of, let's say, this much, I have to come down here and turn this on, okay? So that's kind of a big deal. What else?
Go back to the property tab. What's the pull down for quantity? What's the other option there?
USD
So you
equity.
can also set percentage of equity there or dollars.
Be careful with this because you're prop firms. So you guys are going to try to do this and you're going to try to do like, 1%. You don't technically have 1%, room in all fairness. You don't have as much as you think you do with, first off with automation, and second off with a prop firm. So I don't know if you can put like
Yeah, I
0.1.
don't have an argument with those settings. I'm glad to see that they're there.
Yeah. 0.15.
Yeah, I'm using contract. I'm just using one right now because I have it on one of my live apexes, and I didn't want to use the auto sizing because this will stick with the lowest. Personally, I'm sticking with contracts because that's what I'm used to and that's what I know.
Perfect. Perfect. Remember, so you can technically have this set to, and I haven't used this function yet to kind of verify that. So be careful. If you're going to mess with risk, please make it like 0.25%, point at the most. Okay. And that's still going to be kind of a lot. I don't know. Because let's just say you have an account that's got $1,000 more. Okay. You've made $1,000 on your 50K account times 0.25%. That's $127 per risk. That's not bad. Okay. But just be very careful. Please be careful. Please. But test it. Yeah. Test it because we don't
And
have
I
a
would
test.
also say that when you're going for small gains over time like that, the compounding effect of using percentage of equity is much less important. So setting a dollar size could make a lot of sense in the prop firm realm.
I think for prop firms, at least until you're past the buffer and the payout window, I probably would still do contract sizes because God forbid you get your funded eval account, you're now in your PA, your live, your combine, whatever you're calling it from whichever broker, and this miscalculates, you break a rule over something like this, yeah, that makes me nervous, but I don't know yet. I'm excited, but I'm mindful and I'm tailoring that excitement a little bit. So
And I think that saying, you want to risk $50 on a $50,000 account is plenty safe.
$50 might be a little small too. So, and if you're not sure if you have enough in here, set this to $100, okay? If you're not sure your time frame's good for the amount you're trying to risk, whether that's in percentage or in that, go turn this to the amount you're thinking you're risking, turn it to the time frame you think you're going to, and turn this on. You'll get a chance to see reasonably accurately, not perfect, because remember, and this was his argument, and he kind of wins. I do want this disabled though. There we go. That if we're telling you that this range is worth 4 contracts on gold for $100, when you enter here, it's based off of that 4 contracts, the size of that range. So this is a good example of why I really want to second guess that, but so you enter, you hit really, really well. Long position. This is your first close. This will knock you out with the current settings here versus letting you get into there. This too would probably knock you out. So the what you guys are seeing now, first off, it's net profitable, woohoo. But also I'm using on Kindle Open. So let's say you took it on Kindle Open or on Kindle Close, either one of those scenarios, you get knocked out based off of how that's setting. So there's still some work to be done. So I'm building this with you guys, for you guys. If you have questions, comments, don't be afraid to kind of ask them, but let's get specific, let's get particular. We've got some data that says we're onto something amazing. Now we just have to kind of tie up all the loose ends. So let's go to settings. Robert, let's start with you. What was your question?
Yeah, I was want to go over this because it's kind of confusing, and maybe or maybe not, this is what causes some of the issues with some of your trades not going in certain periods. The way I read this, you've got it starting at 9 p.m. and then going to 4:30 the next day,
No,
which also overlaps all those other times.
that's something we talked about too. So one of the newest updates is going to remove this session. You don't need
Okay.
to do this.
Okay.
Because remember, this stuff is already set by this and then by the number of candles up there.
Okay.
So we don't technically need that. This was
So,
originally built in based off of these ranges and stuff, which we don't even use.
right. So is it actually right now ignoring the ones you just had marked out?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now it makes sense.
Yes. No,
So it's the candle at the particular start time.
yeah, it's the candle at the start time based off of the chart time. And then the range you're seeing is based off of the candles across. So it literally, I know it's not a great sales pitch of, oh, this seems
I see now. It's literally starting is because it's like you're gonna start on the hour. It's like your opening range breakout start time.
yeah,
Is all it is. Okay.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to,
Okay. That helps. Thanks.
no, you are welcome. I'm going to copy it, paste it. I'm gonna minimize this, well, not show it. So now we're gonna come in here and we're gonna make all kinds of changes. So obviously not at first, but let's say you're risking, because you got to build it up or you need to have a bigger than a 50K account. Okay. Got to build or get it bigger, one or the other. Say you're risking $300. Line range, we don't need it that big. That's not important. Let's try 6 a.m. And no, I have not tried these time frames. I'm trying to think.
And your times are Eastern, right?
Yes. And you said that based off of your time. So we're going to do 5 a.m. I was gonna just do 30-minute marks, but 6:30, 8:30 is gonna be, and remember, sadly, this is only accurate within X amount of percent because we're still missing some. So we're gonna do 7:30, 5:30, 7, may as well do, I'm just gonna do 30 on all of them. 5:30, 7:30. 8:30 is touchy because there's news most days. Should have done 8 for that. And I'm not going to target New York Open, so I'm going to do 10:30. Just getting a peek. And again, I've never put these numbers on there, so I don't know if I'm going to show you something really amazing or something really bad. I don't know.
How long is your time stop?
We're going to scroll down here. You set that.
Okay, because you're 1 hour apart, so you want to make sure that you're not opening 2 trades at once, or at least be able to account for that. If you got one that hasn't resolved yet, and you get another one that turns on, it's going to put your same risk in the same direction, possibly.
Post-session trade close after how many candles? So this will say, hey, if the move hasn't happened in X amount of candles, I want out of this trade, right? That's what this is doing. If the move hasn't happened in X amount of candles, you want to exit all because you don't want any triggers or something with the next session. You have this option too. As you can see, I don't have it enabled.
I want to be clear as why I'm flagging that as a potential issue. And that's just that, let's say you open a trade at 6:30 and it has not yet resolved, but you're in a sell. And then 7:30 rolls around, you're still in that sell, but you trigger a buy. It's going to close out the initial trade and not have any trade on.
Well, yeah, and I was really worried about that too. But I will tell you guys again, back to the no ghost orders thing. The benefit, whether it's this or other settings, is let's say we took a buy, and you don't have to do these time frames. I'm just testing right now. Okay, I'm not dare saying they're the best or the worst. I don't know. I don't know. I do like overnight a lot. But let's say you have a buy order here and the next session has a sell and so it basically it closes it, right? It's going to do exit all. That's the function to exit this. So you're not going to end up now having a pending buy that activates as a ghost order. So that is built really well. And then the same thing vice versa. So if you have a buy, and let's say you put on another buy on another session, when you exit, you are exiting these trades. I've had 2 runaway trades, one extremely big, was like 2,500 at its biggest, one extremely bad, which was like 800 at its worst. It was the day NASDAQ made like 3%. I had 1 micro on. I was like, well, where did this trade come from? But I've had 0 ghost orders because that's my biggest concern with automation is how much ghost orders I found. So in that regard, we're fine. But yes, please know that, guys. If you're setting your schedule too close on too big of a time frame, you have to know that math. Okay, that's not up to me. That's just a safety precaution. We want to mitigate risk where possible and offer the opportunity for profit, right? The point of automation is to mitigate risk where possible while still maintaining an opportunity for profit, not a guarantee. So again, if you have Monday through Friday, you have a couple days you're up, a couple days you're down, at the end of the week, you're net positive, your net have some dollars. That's all we care about. I don't care if it was $3 if you're not risking much or 300. The goal is just to mitigate the risk to not have catastrophic things because catastrophic things on your $30 eval, it sucks. On your $100 eval, it sucks. But it's not the end of the world. I'm sorry, y'all have all blown accounts doing stupid stuff. I know. What we care about is that as this grows, you now have this system in place that you can trust it on your funded accounts. Because a lot of people offer services and stupid nonsense that you still don't feel safe trusting on your funded accounts, right? So just so you guys know what the purpose is. Mitigate risk, offer at least some opportunity for profit. That's the goal.
Will your automation allow more than one open trade?
Yeah, so the whole like what I just said, the buy 2, and then let's say the next session buys 3, yes. I will say
Okay.
pick my trades, trying to trade more than one instrument. I wasn't sure if it was me or if it was pick my trades, sorry, I wasn't sure where the negative feedback, so the lack of feedback was coming from more accurately. but I do believe I've got it to where I can test it on MES, YM, MNQ, Gold. Gold has been the trickiest for me because of the contract naming. This is going to technically December is the most heavily traded contract right now. Pick My Trades is a little difficult because it's still trying to route you to September. So that was my biggest issue, was trying to mirror Pick My Trades to be the right contract where I got stuck. But yes, you should be able to trade more than one instrument. Although I would say maybe don't. Or if you do, I would do like 4 a.m. MNQ, 5 a.m. MES. Oh, sorry, 4 a.m. MNQ, 5 a.m. Gold, 6 a.m. MNQ, and kind of do it like that. So you give each one of these things plenty of time to play out, especially if we're on the 5 minute. So you guys saw me pick some times, pick a risk. I have no idea how this is going to perform. I have never looked at this exact setting, but let's go take a look.
Excuse my ignorance, but does anybody know what prop firms may potentially allow us to use automation? I've just never paid attention to it, so I'm curious. I really have no idea.
So remember, My Funded Futures, Funding Ticks, Take Profit Trader, Blue Knox. There's a whole bunch of them. Check the link tree. Most of them are going to be okay in all regards. Number one, this is also your strategy. If your strategy is trading a breakout, which it's your strategy, right? A time-based breakout, because let's say we're not doing New York, okay? That is your strategy. How you took the entry is insignificant. So as long as you can back that up, and mostly I'm talking about for Apex. Apex is the only one that really has the prove to me how you came about this, right? So I can't say 100% because Apex is notorious for being problematic. But to my knowledge, even Apex will allow you to automate your strategy as long as it's, you're automating it, right? So the differences in yours to mine to Robert's, whatever else, it's fine. But keep in mind, they make what, a couple $1 million a day or something? I promise you, three of us, they don't care. Not to mention, there are plenty of other companies charging $10,000 who are offering the exact same automations spread across 200 accounts. As long as you can prove it's your strategy, then the payouts are fine. So I can't speak, loads to Apex's payout policies because they're a pain in the butt, but it is my end goal. So Take Profit Trader, I know it's more expensive, like even at the 40% off, it's $100, but there's no activation fee. So it's still to me one of the cheapest. I just think the no nonsense policy is awesome. Funding ticks, awesome policy. As we continue to grow this, again, we've got to fix some bugs. This you'll be able to use it on NinjaTrader, which also links to Rhythmic, which means you're going to have Blue Guardian, who I know will support this because it's where I tested it too. Um, and what is it? Top Step, right? So you're going to have other options. Well, no, because Project Top Step doesn't do Rhythmic anymore, do they?
No, they stopped.
Yeah. So either way, that stuff is going to be up to you guys, but this is your strategy. This is your system that you are going to have access to, so that you do have access to.
Well, my plan, if I were to ever get, or I should say if, but when I finally get funded with Apex or others, if they do like the interview, like I had to do something for Funding Pips recently. They want to know risk management and they want to see your procedures and stuff like that. My plan is just show them just the manual version of this because it's the same thing. It's just one's automated, one's not. And if they ask me, you're actually up at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning making trades, I said, yeah, I work third shift. I just go,
Well,
make
I'm
stuff
I'm a
up.
big advocate of I don't li- I'm a big advocate of I try my best not to lie, like ever. I will sugarcoat, okay? I will use the truth to my fullest advantage as you guys get to know me, right? And even my kids know that. Like I'm big on the whole don't lie thing. So I would say I've created myself, this is my strategy, this is the system I use. And I don't think that that question is as big of a deal as people think it is. Most people are not worried about you having bots, okay? Especially not in the futures market. And again, this is your strategy, but I do like your approach of, hey, here is the system that I'm using. Here's how I'm deciding. Yes, I make human error decisions or there's connectivity problems through all the software I use, but this is what I do. And that is the answer. How it entered and exited is none of, that's not the question. So if it does come up, I'll say, no, I built this,
Yeah.
or yes, this is me and my team, right? So Robert, in your case, you can say me and my team, we did this. This is what we are doing. And
Yeah.
I use it differently, which is the truth. So
Or a more truthful version of what I just said. I have a tablet. The alerts are set up. It's next to my. It's on my nightstand. I'm a light sleeper, and when alerts go off, I put in a tree.
There you
You
go.
know.
Kind of strange. Hold on. It's probably because there's two on here.
When you have, oh, I was gonna say when you have a chance, can you scroll back through the settings? I was trying to keep up with what you were doing, and I got most of it. But you know me, I like to test the same thing you're testing.
No, because it won't let me. Hold on, why won't it let me? Okay, here's the settings.
I got
What
those as the times. I think of the last as 4
I
a.m. I
like
had
these times. I
2:30.
really wanted to try midnight. I want to try midnight on the 5th. I haven't done it yet. We've been building. We've been build mode. So my trade has not been doing the
All
same
right.
thing lately.
I'm
I
gonna
would
make my
like to
bottom. I'm gonna make my bottom one midnight. How's that? And then I'll share notes.
keep in mind 2 of these 5 are not going through. Um, but I like overnight a lot. I
Oh,
like
that's your previous settings. You just recently changed them live. That's what
oh
I was looking
I'm
for.
not changing. I was
Probably.
gonna just pick some arbitrary times is why.
Oh crap!
Uh,
Never mind. I thought you were going to use those.
no, no, I'm just picking some arbitrary times so I can show you guys, but I think I'm gonna have
Damn
to
it!
do this.
And I got to go back. No, it was 21. I know you had an 0200. I think
It's 11, 1, 2, 3, and 4
1,
p.m.
2, 3, and 4. Okay.
Yeah. So 11
AM.
p.m., 1, 2, 3, and 4 a.m. I have my trail on, and then the other big thing I have is this
Hmm.
on bar close
You're way faster than I am.
is also a
Great.
really big deal because of the exit. This impacts the exit a lot. Because
Yeah, mine's on bar close as well.
let's
Is it
say
under
that this
properties?
candle,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, hold on. Let's say that this candle pushes up. If you have this set on bar closed and the ATR trail would have got you out here on bar closed, it gets you out here instead. So this impacts the exit a lot, but I also think it's giving us clear data. So that's why I've had this on, is again, that data looks really good. I'm very, very optimistic about it. So some of the things even I don't like, I have to check my ego with my results and kind of go from there. So we're going to touch base more on this later. Um, but I wanted to get the most conservative, close to possible results as possible. So mine has mostly been with this on, with this off. And remember, with this off, this is going to be conservative, but keep in mind you'll probably achieve much more than what this is showing because TradingView can only do stuff on bar close. Whereas in real time, let's say you entered here and whatever you had a bigger trail, this one is going to let you get out way up here versus down here.
Right.
So
And
there's a
your
lot that goes into it.
ATR trail on that one's still 1.75 on the one you're actually using.
Um,
Because the other one you had 2, and I switched to the
yeah,
2, but that was
yeah.
the wrong one. Okay. Final question. Are there going in later revisions or more time slots going to be open in case people want to use more hours?
No, in fact, I might take some away.
Okay.
Well, because here, my goal is to get you guys to the point. This algorithm is in and out quickly. Now, granted, not every trade is quick, but this algorithm is meant to get you 1, 2 trades a day, and that's it. And believe it or not, like I showed on that prop from spreadsheet I was making a few weeks ago, we don't need more than that, guys. 1 or 2 trades a day that you can automate, that you don't ever have to look at, that you can just manage and let it trade 3 to 5 accounts to kind of give you an idea. I mean, that's life changing. That's $250,000 a year. After all expenses, after, I mean, every single thing you can think of in taxes, you're still walking away with better than 6 figures by a lot for doing something for 10 minutes a week kind of thing. So that's the goal. Other strategies that we are going to be implementing, we needed the basic build, the bones built, is some of them are going to have better risk to reward. So you're going to not have a trade every day, but you're going to have a better risk to reward. You're going to get the 1 to 3s and the 1 to 5s out of it, right? but you won't get a trade every day.
Less often, but better quality. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a couple different systems in place that you'll notice. Something that the developer and I talked about is I want to have a little box over here that kind of shows potential. Now, the problem with these potential boxes, especially with the people who sell them, is it always says like 90%, woohoo. But technically it doesn't achieve this ever, because of the way it's coded with potentially. So it's closed. This is coded based off of does it touch at all, favoring the take profit. What I want to tell people is if you target a 0.5 to 1, okay, remember you are at least 200%, okay? I'm talking all favor, if you flipped a coin, you are 200% more likely to hit this, your take profit, than you are to hit your stop loss, right? 2 times, okay? More likely. And that's just the odds are in your favor, right? The stars are stacked in alignment. So going for that smaller risk to reward is going to help a lot. It's going to help a lot. It's just going to make your win rate. I don't care what these systems tell you. Most of them are cap and they're coded really unethically, in my opinion. Honestly, you get a win rate of 50 to 60%. Okay. I'm talking achieved. And you can manage that. You're still technically profitable. You're getting dollars at the end of the week. This stuff makes us feel fuzzy, but we don't want to be fuzzy. We want to go to the bank. Okay. We don't need to be fuzzy, guys. We want to go to the bank. That's the only objective. So I need people to start thinking, I took my trade, I'm done for the day. Okay. For manual trading. I have my automation, I'm up on the week. Okay. I'm down on the week. And that's okay because of the 52 weeks in a year, this is going to happen. So we have to stop going on tilt. I'm part of the problem too. Whether that's manual or automated, we have to stop doing this whole feast or famine mindset. Like, oh my God, if I don't fix this right now, I'm a bad trader. If I don't have this, no, who cares? None of that matters. We don't care about all of the ego stuff. We just want it to be profitable. So I'm in a preachy mood, I think. Also, I'm in an irritated mood because why? It just won't show. I wonder if it's because I pasted it.
I'll also help with testing. I changed my 2100 to midnight, and I'll let you know how that turns out.
Remember, I'm not
Since,
looking for
since you're interested
profitable.
about midnight, I figure I'll test it.
Oh, perfect. So that's what I'm saying is let's test, guys. The whole point of this is not the warm and fuzzies. I need you to find things that you don't think are working as you think they should.
I agree with you completely about like just a few trades. And that's something that's very overlooked. Um, one just I think we you sort of like the prop firms, the way that they sort of gamified everything, they sort of changed like the way that we look at trading, and just wanting to be green overall and gain some sort of percentage, whether it's 1%, a half a percent, and see what you look like as far as your equity, at the end of a quarter, at the end of a year, etc. There's 61 weekdays in a year. Granted, you have holidays and all of that, losing days or whatever. But let's say if you were able to average over the course of a year, $50 per day, that's very minimum, even with a micro contract on futures or whatnot. You're looking at about $13,000 just on one account. And that's, something that can potentially be happening, passively with just, your management here and there and watching over it. But I think that's the point that Jenny's trying to hit home is that, you know, again, I keep trying to work with this again. The prop firm thing has been a little bit trying for me. And
Me
getting
too.
back, oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. And I,
It's like that for everybody, I think.
yeah, it's you keep thinking about it like how much it's just a different type of trading. I've always talked about how, you know, when you do pass these prop firms and all of that, like in all actuality, you're really getting like 200, 300% by the time you get a payout on your account, which is ridiculous numbers. So anybody who actually passes any of these, you should be very proud of yourself because you're a darn good trader. But again, you lose sight of that because of the fact that you haven't received the payout. So even though you've accomplished a lot during that time, and you build the account, that doesn't really count, and you lose sight of that. So going back, I digress back to what Jenny's saying with this automation, or even your personal whatever. If you just get those little percentages a day and then look at where you are at the end of the year, that's life-changing money, especially if it's passive money and you have 3 accounts. Imagine getting 30,000 or even more, depending how much you're aggressive, or how much equity you're actually putting to try and grow it, and the account sizes that you're using. I mean, 30,000 passively is quite a lot, and that's not even what you're trading on your own account, your own personal account that you trade manually.
100%. Like, guys, the goal still is your personal money. The goal, the prop firm, I'm only part of this space because of the futures world. And if I'm gonna make a wave, I've got to be part of that. But honestly, that's a mess. That whole world, Jonathan's right. You're technically making several 100% and then not qualifying for a payout because you like were in profit and messed up your drawdown. Like some really random stuff. Now, granted, some of it's fair and square. He went on tilt. There's dumb trade, bad news, a rule that you should have been accountable for. You're an adult, so am I. But the rest of it is the rest of it, guys, no. So your goal, even if you have to prop farm a little bit, take the 5,000, and passive money is passive money. I think the reason people fail in this industry is because they're trying to to replace a job, and you can't replace a job if your budget's $1,000. Okay, you're not replacing a job. Now, don't get me wrong, there are windfalls. I hear the lottery was 1.4 billion or something. I know because it was taped all over the gas station last night when I went to go get Noah's a drink after soccer. Like, seriously? So I know it does happen, but you're not going to change your life for the most part with your $500 investment. Not to say it has never been done, and you can windfall it, and it does happen. The miracles do happen. I believe that everything's possible, but come on. Like, come on. Low and slow. Turn your $5,000 into 7,500 in a year. That's 50% returns. That's really good money. And do that again next year. And in 5 years, you've changed the course of lots of lives. But most people want it today, so they quit tomorrow and they're mad about it. And that's the part I need to help people change. This is not
I,
going to take a month.
I think what you're talking about is using prop firms as a means to an end to get to our own money that we can trade eventually.
Yes, 100%. Yes, 100%. I don't know what I broke. Let's just try. I don't know. Sorry, guys. This is a strategy. Oh, activates. There we go. I didn't know. See, I was like, I don't know what I broke. Activate strategy. Well, I was gonna be snazzy and say, hey, look, we picked some arbitrary times, but I can't. Oh, there we go. Okay. I was like, I don't know why. I don't know what I did wrong. It's loading. It's gonna take some time just to confirm the settings we chose. I really like 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. I don't do 1:30 because again the news, but 2:30. I like those times, PM, afternoon, PM, New York PM. I have tried those. I've tried overnight. I've tried a lot of pre-market times. I don't think I've ever typed in the 30-minute mark. We're on gold right now. So this is updating. Again, I've never done this. We might see something that's really awful. We might see something that's really great. But that's the point, is to get the data that we need. It doesn't
Well,
want to.
something else would be interesting. You're talking about those other stop methods using moving average and something else. It'll be interesting on how that test is, God, listen up, stupid English. It'd be interesting how that tests, which is what I should have said, using candle close or not candle close.
I think I know I wasn't on. Remember, no matter what, this is always trading views results are always going to be based off of candles closes. So better or worse by X amount of percent. In real time on the break, you would have entered on this break, okay? Or technically even on these breaks right here. And this one, because of that, what I was showing you guys with the stop loss is a problem. Well, it is anyways there. There we go. Now we got somewhere. So again, I didn't know these time frames. 81%, and gold does perform better. This is based off of, it's not a whole year because you can see it's only 700 trades. This is with $300 risk per trade. Now remember, if I fail at this by, let's say, 50%, and I made $25,000, and remember, this is not a year, this is probably 3 months at the most, pretty passively, that's not bad, okay? That's not bad at all. And this is what we're building for. So do your due diligence, guys. Play with this, break it, test some different things. Don't be too turned off by bad results. Check different pairs, check different time frames, check different settings. I think this is worth really digging into. But as a community, we want this to be something special. So we need your feedback as well. And now that you know, I tried to do the percentage feature and it did not work because this was set to percentage. And that's why we couldn't get it to load until I turned this back on. The risk for automation. So a lot of stuff is being built in. Does anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions at all? With the exception of adding more boxes. I don't want more. In fact, one of the things we might do is scale this down to 3. Not just because 2 are not loading, but because I want people to see, hey, look, and worst case, if you're the person who really wants a lot, drop it on here twice. But I really want to get to the habit of, I took one trade, I closed out of $100 and I'm done. I took one trade, I closed out of X amount of bucks and I'm done. I took 2 trades, you know, I tried just to diversify because sometimes the reason why I care about diversity is not just today, it's because today 5:30 was great, 6:30 sucked. But tomorrow, 6:30 was great, 5:30 sucked, right? So that's one of the reasons I like the diversity is not on the day, it's on the week, it's on the month, it's on the big picture to where I don't have to come back in here every day and be like, well, I'm gonna try a different time frame, you know, because I know this time frame might lose, you know, X amount of percent of the time, but on the times that it wins, I'm good with that. But that's that. Very excited. I'm very, very excited. I like overnight, like I said. I like pre-market, like I said. I like New York PM, like I said. And just for giggles, since we're all sitting here today, let's go look at how hard it is to trade in New York. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna go to 9:30. Come on, every YouTuber on the planet says that this is the best thing in sliced spread. So do we want to do 9:30 5-minute chart? Let's find out. Let's find out if this is the best thing since sliced bread.
I don't know. Sliced bread's pretty good.
Let's find out. I honestly didn't have the heart.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not. 340 trades, 3 profit factor, using just
Just that one
gold,
time or that one time period?
one time period. Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
Maybe it is the best thing since
no,
sliced bread.
actually, oh, let me turn this off. I was like, there we go. So that's a loss. This took a couple of entries. So we took a buy and we exited the buy, same candle. We took a sell, exited it in profit. Not bad. But this is gold. 5-minute time frame, not 2-minute though, guys. I think 15 minutes too big for automation purposes. And I think 1 and 2 is too small. And I think that ATR trail is too tight. Buy. So this one, because it moves straight up, you know, was probably the bigger winner. But when we do candle close, it'll be a little bit smoother. We still have to figure out that stop loss. So please give that some thought. I just want you guys to know the truth. He's right when he says, hey, the stop loss right now is the results are good if we keep it this way. Yeah, but I also want to figure out the other side of that. So we entered and we exited really well, actually. Really well. But this is New York gold, 5-minute time frame. Ish. Take it with a grain of salt, not perfection. Just take it with a grain of salt. Figure 20% off at least. A 20% variable at least, minimum, bare minimum. Bare minimum. So I'm excited though. We'll find out. Anybody have comments, questions, or suggestions? Let me know.
Can I brag about Dragonfly
Yes, yes,
for
you.
people that don't actually read all the chats? Last week, I'm running on 2 live accounts. When Forex volume picks up, uh, I'm going to switch one of those to the Forex because I don't want to use them both on gold because I want to diversify. With the settings we use, as you mentioned earlier, they are kind of risky. You have to put up with a lot of, we're finding out, especially around NFP time, and I will use that knowledge for next time. A lot of drawdown and stuff like that. However, that being said, yet last week I did my first withdrawal from, this is just on Plexi trade. It's not a prop or anything. I was doing my first withdrawal of like 3,880 bucks, I think. And I checked this morning and at the moment, well, I checked this morning, I was at 4,990 for the week. So I may have an over $5,000 withdrawal coming this Friday. And my plan at the moment is to withdraw 100% every week on Fridays until I make what I put in it, and then I'm going to withdraw 50% every week. But so far, so good.
Okay, nice. That sounds awesome. Hey, remind me one more time, you're doing 0.1 to how much again on gold?
Oh, it's the you talk about like the 2000 whatever. It was on 2000. Yes, yesterday I moved it to 2500 to try to help with future drawdown. I'm still trying to find a sweet spot to where the drawdown doesn't happen as much. But something I noticed, and I noticed it happened on NFP both times. Like I said, next time I may go orange a week before NFP even happens to help with that. But I even noticed my margin percentage. It's only been 2 times, so it's not really a pattern, but at using 2000, the lowest margin level I saw the last time was 2800 something. Yesterday was 2770 something. And I'm going to pay attention to that as well next time it happens because that may be a good guideline to use. If it stays, like that, if it stays consistent, that'd be a good thing to know.
Okay, so coming from somebody, first off, what you're doing is paying you, so take it with a grain of salt, right? And I would say that to anybody. But secondly, here's what I would do. In terms of gold, you're on such a small time frame. I would probably do 0.01 per every 3,000 at the most, okay? Um, because you're on a small time frame. And if you wanted to do a larger, like 0.01 for every 2,000 or 2,500, I would do maybe just pop up a smidge in the time frame. You're doing 2 and 5 minutes, so maybe do 5 minutes, which is gonna limit the orders, but you're gonna get so much out of that and
Yeah.
less oopses.
So you're saying 5 and 5,
5 and 15 even.
5 and
Just
15?
it's
I
still
could
because
try it.
remember
Yeah.
on gold, guys, when gold moves, here, let's go the 1 hour. When gold moves, it moves. So that's
It,
the one of the issues. This is what
it's like on my demo. I started July the 9th. Was it July 9th? I'd have to look. It's up almost 80%. I mean, if you're still averaging 15 to 30, maybe more than 30% in a month, you can afford to back down on it some and still make good money.
yeah, well, you're already making great money, okay? So now I want to start changing the conversation, not just to, hey, I can make a bajillion percent, but can I survive? Because that's really what trading is about. We don't talk about that near enough is can I survive? This is
Survive and not need a defibrillator.
Yes. This is an 8% move with really just no big pullbacks, okay? And this wasn't even like there's a bomb, okay? I'm gonna go to the 4 hour. That's 8%. And like, don't listen to me. Let's look at the rest of history. So 8%, nothing, not even a pullback. Obviously, we've chopped around here for a little while. But again, when gold goes on a tear, this is a 18% move and no measurable pullback. We do get it, okay? We get what is that, an 80% pullback. But this is hard to digest if the risk is too high. Now you can survive this if the risk is smaller. But if the risk is not smaller, we can't survive it. And that's where my fear comes in. It's just the name of the game is surviving. So if that's the goal, we need to start thinking about if this happened on the time frames I'm on with the contract sizes I'm on, can I survive this? Because on the 30-minute, this big tear, you don't get enough pullbacks to get a lot of entries. You're going to get a couple maybe, but you get one here for sure, one here for sure. you're not going to get as many, but on the 5-minute time frame and on the 2-minute, 5-minute, those baby time frames, you're going to have so many entries in this, and the lot size is just a lot. So this right here was enough to stress test the account. Again, we could still push up another 3-4% before we get another big drop. I am targeting, I think we said the 34. Well, the prices are different on this instrument versus on the other one, so I don't want to give a price, but I'm kind of targeting this area. There's over 400. There's a huge order right here too on Bookmap and stuff. Huge orders. So we'll see. But this was a stress test, guys. So you need to know this happens. And you do get the pullback, but it just took, this is April. It took, till May. It took a good amount of time and yet to figure this out. So this one edges around. So this one, again, we're gonna have more entries. That's 13%. And this is how I've stayed sane through all the wins and losses that I've had. This move, gold does this all the time. So I just want to be full transparency. I love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. But number one, offer us capital because of what you're doing. And number two, consider time frames or lot sizes, because right now you're pushing both and you're pushing hard. So
I changed my demo to 5 of 15, and we'll leave the live alone for now, just so I can do a good comparison.
okay.
And I'm going to note on Trezell that I made that change, but I wanted to let you know really quick on the gold demo. It did start on July 9th, and I was a little bit off. It's up 89.39% since July the 9th, which is
That's
crazy.
50% a month. That's wild. Yeah. So do that a
So
couple
I
months.
can afford to scale back, on that.
Listen, we can afford to scale back. I promise we can. I promise. I promise. But guys, that's enough for today. It has been a heck of a week. So many things. We got our trade. Technically, I took two because I took the sell too. But simple, smooth day. I need to clean up trading sync again because it's a pain in the butt again. So sick of trying to copy all the accounts. I might just pick a broker, trade on that one for the day. Pick a broker, trade on that because I don't know what else to do. The mirroring, when there's too much volume, it just glitches out, and it sucks to lose 3 weeks of progress to a glitch, but it is what it is. So, on that note, definitely thank you all. There's so many people and great conversations being had in the chats. So thank you for that. All the rooms are getting more specific. If you have questions, comments, let me know. Please use 6FTC or whatever stinking referral link. I'm trying to email these prop firms to get a lot to give away and like to get bigger with them, but I need more volume or I'm just like the little girl who they're like, yeah, not that big of a deal. But anyways, I'm working on it. So you guys know the drill. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, check out the site, do all the things, and happy trading, happy weekend. We'll be back next week, and big announcements, new links next week for Zoom, number one, and number two, I will be live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. So it'll be fun. I can't wait to see you guys then.
What? We get a threefer?
Yeah. Three
He
times
just
a week.
dropped the
Is that
bomb. He just
Wednesday
dropped the
morning or
bomb.
Yeah, right?
Wednesday morning or Wednesday evening?
I'm not doing evenings no more. No more. No
Okay.
evenings. Listen, I don't want to be on my computer. And first off, I don't want to trade Asian. Secondly, I don't want to promote people trading Asian, and that's nothing against anybody else. But if that's your day job, I still think you're probably better taking a pre-market trade than you are taking. And I'm not saying Asian doesn't sometimes hit, because we had some weeks where it was awesome, and of course it hits. But pick a session. So if you're the Asian guy, be the Asian guy. But I also think in a 24-hour market, we're trying to get 3 a.m. We're trying to get pre-market. Oh crap, the 350 algorithm. Oh my gosh, it's lunchtime. 12:30 is great. I just think, especially because this is my job and my business and my investing and my passion, I just think a lot of us are on these charts too much. And it's unhealthy, and it makes us not see it. It's not the same as like in the morning or whatever session you're trading. At that time, you come to the chart, you do your pre-analysis, you mark up what you need to see, and then you go on with your life, whether you win or lose. The whole always trading or I'm gonna catch it back in Asian, I think it messes up your data on TradeZilla. I got a whole spiel, but either way, we'll see. Yeah. But big drops. Congratulations to all of you guys who are testing and running with things. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. So happy trading. Take care and God bless.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Miss Barb.